Welcome to the Infidelity Doctor channel. My name is Dr. Talal Al-Salim, and this is the Ask Dr. Talal segment. You place to ask me anything you want to know about affair recovery and affair prevention. Please remember that this is not a substitute for the counseling that you're supposed to be getting. This is merely a place for you to get some basic questions answered and learn about my clinical insights when it comes to affair recovery and affair prevention. So before we get to the question of the week, make sure that you like the video and subscribe to the channel so that you can get the most recent updates. The question of the week is as follows. My spouse doesn't like me talking to ex-partners. Is this a form of cheating or infidelity? Infidelity is one of those things that are very difficult to define because we all come from different experiences and different backgrounds that shapes our own unique view of what constitutes appropriate or inappropriate behavior in a committed relationship. So we'll do a little review because I talked about how we define infidelity in past videos. So all relationships should have a relationship contract that identify how many partners we have in this relationship. Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 20? This relationship contract should talk about what are the expected emotional and sexual needs that are supposed to be fulfilled by the partners in this relationship. More importantly, to what extent the fulfillment of those emotional and sexual needs is exclusive only to the partners that you have in this relationship. So the moment you outsource the fulfillment of those needs to somebody else outside of this relationship, you're breaching your contract. And the breach of contract, big or small, no matter what that looks like, it in itself is going to be an act of infidelity. So in the case of the person who's asking this question, if your spouse doesn't like you talking to your ex-partners, it's an indication that they are expecting some type of emotional exclusivity that you have with them, or some kind of boundaries that you're supposed to have with your exes. But here's how I think about it. When people end a relationship, if they don't have any reason to be in each other's life, then what really they need to do is to move on and try not to cross paths again, because it's really hard to go back to a strictly platonic relationship once people cross the lines of emotional connections and sexual interactions. The only exception that I give to that, if you are compelled to have a relationship with your ex, meaning that you share kids, right, and you co-parents, or you entangled in business with one another. But even then, the extent of the new relationship that one should have with their ex should be really limited to the reason of why they're staying together. So if you are simply co-parent, then your interaction with your ex really should be related to that, no more, no less. Sometimes people make this mistake of trying to stay friends with their exes. That is always problematic because, one, it's going to cause anxiety for the current partner that you have in this relationship. And oftentimes I hear the people who are keeping those friendships with their exes, they say, well, I'm not interested in them that way, so it's okay for me to have this friendship. Well, even if you're not interested in them in that way, how do you know if they're not interested in you in a different way? So why invite unnecessary problem in your guys' life? So bring it back to full circle to the question, is this a form of infidelity? Well, if your interaction with your ex-partner is actually motivated by fulfilling a need that should be fulfilled by your partner or your ex-partner's current significant other, then you are breaching a contract of exclusivity. So again, really just depends on what kind of interaction you have with your ex-partner. Are those interactions are actually needed, or are they just something that you want to keep some sort of attachment? And I think, again, if you're maintaining this friendship, it's really going to be difficult for your current partner to be okay with that. Because just as I have mentioned earlier, when people cross those lines of emotional and sexual interactions and connection, it's going to be difficult for them to go back to just strictly platonic relationship. I hope the answer I provided was adequate to address this question. Feel free to leave your comments in the comment section below about the answer you heard today, as well as suggestions of questions that you'd like to see me answer in the future. Until then, be well, be safe, and embrace the possibility for a brighter future. Take care.